right, so today we were going to use a whiteboard for part of our discussion, but we're going to go old school and use the blackboard. There's less glare on the video that way, and we think you guys will be able to see it. So we're talking today about, this is our third set in the series about orthopedic procedures in dogs, and we were mostly talking about knee surgeries, those kind of things, knee problems like the cruciate ligament problem. So the next step is, after we've made a full diagnosis and we know what's going on with the pet, is we want to come up with a treatment plan. Now, our goal, as always, with our treatment plan is restoring your dog to its ultimate quality of life. Whatever your goal is, your ultimate goal and your ideal for how your dog should be, or cat, or pet that's being worked on, what it should be and how it should act and how its comfort should be for the rest of its life. Those are the things we're trying to restore it back to, those ideal goals that we have for them. So many times with a cruciate ligament, since we use that as our example, with a cruciate ligament problem, that usually involves surgery. So if we're going to do surgery, we have to make sure that those surgical options are going to bring us to that point of care that we're talking about and achieve our goals with the treatment plan of restoring their quality of life and making them have the ideal situation for them and can do the things that you want them to be able to do, whether that's playing, whether that's agility training, whether that's just having a normal life without pain. Whatever those goals are, that's what we want them to be. So surgical options are some of the main ones. Just to point out a little bit about costs with surgery, many times some of us have had our own knee surgeries, and we know that the costs can sometimes get up there in that $50,000 range. And so sometimes when I mention surgery for the dogs, people just really get worried that the costs are going to be super high. Even though in veterinary medicine we do similar things, we use the same sterile techniques, we use advanced monitoring systems, we used quality anesthesia, a lot of the same materials they're using people. We are able to get these prices way cheaper than this. Usually they're way less than $4,000 to get some sort of a knee surgery done in a dog. And it totally varies by the size of the dog and what kind of procedure is chosen for that surgery, because there's different kinds of surgeries, different kinds of materials that could be used. So the price varies quite a bit. So to get an estimate, fair estimate, you have to go see a veterinarian and have the problem worked up to get that estimate. So while we're talking about surgery, the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're finding a surgeon with good experience in doing those kind of surgeries. That's the same thing if you're getting yourself a surgery or if your dog needs a surgery or your cat needs a surgery. You want the surgeon to have experience in that area. So doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who has specialized in surgery, although those are available, but someone who definitely has some experience. For example, here at our clinic, we do a lot of orthopedic surgeries. We have hundreds of patients that have recovered from knee surgeries for cruciate ligament rupture. They're doing super well, restored their quality of life, and they're really happy. But you definitely want to make sure whoever you go to has experience in that area. If you do want to go see a specialist, usually you get up towards the higher end of this range, and it's a little bit more than going to someone who's just an experienced veterinarian who may not be a specialist in that area. So let's see, did we cover everything? It's surgery, cost, experience. Those are the most important things. We could talk about the different types of surgeries, but I think there's videos out there that discuss that. But there's various different options, and some of them are better for certain sizes of dogs than others. For the smaller dogs, the more simple procedures do well, and they tend to be a lot less than that, usually down closer to the $1,000 to $1,500 range for those guys. But the bigger dogs, it tends to get up a little bit higher sometimes. So anyway, that's it about cruciate ligaments. Now, if there's other orthopedic problems or other knee problems or such, fractures, things like that, some of these same principles still apply. So hopefully these set of videos have helped you to understand a little bit more about orthopedics. Here at our clinic, one of the things we do is if you have a veterinarian that has noticed you have some sort of orthopedic problem and he's recommending surgery, we would be glad to give you a second opinion at no charge to you for the office visit. Of course, if we have to do diagnostics like x-rays or something, we would do that. But we like to give second opinions on these kind of things that might be surgical things without having it cost you a ton extra, but that way you can just make sure that you're on the right track with your treatment plan. So just keep that in mind, and there may be a lot of other places that would be willing to do that as well. All right, thank you very much for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.